Resistance from the Venezuelan presidential guard was swift but ultimately futile, as the helicopters lay cover fire. The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points.
Bro, have y'all seen how Delta operators move? Fast is smooth and smooth is fast and fast is fast as That's their motto. Hey, wake up, and then I saw Maduro and I was like, ah. We're going to be reacting to how U.S. Special Forces infiltrated Venezuela to take out Maduro. So basically, this dude is a dictator of Venezuela. He does that video in August of, come and take me. Come and take my ass cheeks.
Venga por mí. Aquí no esperen Miraflores. No se tarden en llegar, cobarde.
4 months later, snatching his ass out of bed. I love it. I know there's people on both sides of the fence saying, wow, this is really cool. And the other side saying, wow, this is really bad. I just want to know, all the people in Venezuela, are you happy? That's all that really matters, right? The people who are genuinely oppressed.
How do you capture a high-value target when the whole world is watching?
But we really just ran up on Venezuela like that.
The CIA set the stage with a single building as bait and filled the sky with 150 aircraft to create a deafening sonic shield for the helicopters to drop Delta forces.
Did we really?
Perimeter, turning night into day. By the time the dust settled, the helicopters had already touched down and Maduro was gone.
We was gone like that. That's what we came here for.
In the dead of night that is 2 in the morning, the lights went out in Caracas. By 5 a.m., the president of Venezuela was gone. But how U.S. played
3 hours?
While the whole world were focused on the aircraft carriers in the Caribbean.
We took your president, dictator man, in 3 hours? Sean Ryan, please. We need the podcast. Jocko, we need you to get these guys today. The book is going to be crazy. The movie's going to be crazy. I'm calling dibs. Can I be in the movie when this drops? I'll be Maduro if I have to.
While the whole world were focused on the aircraft carriers in the Caribbean, a shadow war was being fought on the ground. Oof. This wasn't an invasion. It was a surgical extraction.
Shadow horse on the ground.
We finally have the declassified timeline of how U.S. forces breached the heart of Caracas and extracted Nicolas Maduro. Let's start with step 1. The setup. This didn't happen overnight. For months, the U.S. had been tightening a naval quarantine around Venezuela.
Delta had been running drills for months, apparently, prior to this.
But while the Navy squeezed the coast, intelligence assets were tracking one man. They waited for a specific window, a moment where Maduro was stationary and vulnerable. Step 2, the strike. It began at exactly 2 in the morning Venezuelan Standard Time. High above, several F-35 stealth fighters punch a hole through the enemy lines, destabilizing their anti-air defenses. Like these Russian S-300 missiles located all over the strategic
back-to-back World War champs, might even start World War III because we're bored. I'm all for it. You really cannot f with us.
Here comes the deception as the helicopters flew. The jets started firing with more strikes as it hit Fort Tuna, the main military base and command center, and La Carlota Air Base, destabilizing Venezuelan air support. Reports from the ground described widespread explosions and a sudden communications blackout. The chaos wasn't the goal, it was the cover. But how did the raid happen?
Complex attack.
We have to look at step 3. Under the cover of darkness and chaos, the Tier 1 operators went to work.
So a bunch of F-35s came in, like that. Then, I already forgot step 2. I can never be part of this operation. I'm retarded. Iraqis schooled the whole place. Lights go out. Beautiful.
It is the Delta Force, one of the most elite secretive special forces units in the U.S. military. Witnesses in Caracas reported low-flying aircraft skimming the rooftops, flying well below radar coverage. The team breached a secure compound believed to be a safe house within the massive Fort Tuna complex. Resistance from the Venezuelan presidential guard was swift but ultimately futile, as the helicopters lay cover fire. The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points.
Bro, have y'all seen how Delta operators move? Go check out our other videos. We've posted videos of actual Delta Force training, okay? Oh my God, he's a horse! This man's a horse! Their walk is a Usain Bolt sprint, and they can hit a penny thrown in the air. Fast is smooth and smooth is fast and fast is fast as That's their motto.
The operators moved with surgical speed, landing on multiple points. But how exactly the capture and extraction happened? For this, let's look at step 4. Specialized helicopters hovered over the objective to insert the assault team. While dozens of
Osama
attack
helicopters
helicopters laid down suppression fire, the Delta
Jesus
Special Forces
Christ.
descended and started the search for the high-value...
Did they fast rope in? That's horny. I am so surprised we did not shoot him or his wife. Like, you really got to be on X Games mode to get him out alive. They didn't even give him time to kill himself. Like, that wasn't even an option.
The CIA had planted spy inside Nichols' Maduro close circle. While back in the U.S., Delta Force built an exact replica of his safe house, rehearsing the raid until
Damn, we got the whole house!
While operators breached the room so fast, his security could not even react to the situation as the sound of flash grenades
Did we not kill his
disoriented the security guard. Using blowtorch, they caught him before he could even lock all the doors. Maduro's shock and awe froze him as Delta Force breached the compound. Nichols Maduro...
So fast you can't even lock a door, bitch. Yeah, they couldn't even lock single door. They went to go lock it and he opened the door. He's like, no. Good morning, motherfucker.
Wife, Celia Flores were physically secured. This wasn't a negotiation.
Stage? What do you mean you think this is
They
fake?
were detained and immediately moved to the extraction point. These aircraft are capable of performing urban extractions from buildings and refueling in midair. Within
We
minutes, they
had
were
to have killed
airborne.
some people. No U.S. lives lost, which is a fat W. I want to know how many bodies the D-Boys waxed. They probably just walked in, skipping, and were like, la, 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 la. Just one-tapping people in the face.
Integrated Russian air defenses and Shahed drones along its borders. This creates a highly lethal and challenging environment that older S-16s would struggle to survive. As stated, around 150 aircrafts and a massive 8 U.S. destroyers were
This is an
stationed there.
insane... if I'm being honest with y'all, this is insane movement. We is moving, okay? 150 aircraft in the air, 8 destroyers.
Also has 3 amphibious aircraft carrier and surveillance plane to turn it into a massive command and control juggernaut capable of overcoming a modern military's air defenses. Signals a readiness to counter Venezuela's entire air defense network if necessary. But why Venezuela Air Force failed to intercept? As of 2025, Venezuela...
How many people live in Venezuela? Like 28.5-ish million people. We took that shit with less than 3,000 people. Stop it. Enough from you. Do not speak on our name.
The F-35, however, offers crucial advantages. Its stealth design enables it to fly undetected or with much lower risk, making it effective.
It's not as good as like a combat fighter, but it's
network
sneaky.
Radar systems.
Sneaky.
Its sensor fusion, electronic warfare, and data link capabilities allow it to simultaneously suppress and target mobile and fixed air defense positions, adapting rapidly to counter Russian and Chinese radar configurations.
I don't even know what they're talking about. It's so above my intelligence.
This allowed the CIA and special forces to advance towards its target.
I know the CIA is having a good ass time right now in
Russian,
Venezuela.
Chinese, Iranian, and indigenous
we
air
run
defense
Venezuela
and drone
now.
Systems on the Venezuelan border.
They got a
stealth fighter
ton of
jets
oil,
or the first wave of attack provide both
minerals,
the survivability
gold,
and strike capability required for such operations.
Bro, give me more on the attack. Yeah, I had to wear the hair because I already know people are gonna lose their mind. They're gonna take it way too seriously. But that's not my problem. Let me see what else we got real quick.
They actually built a house which was identical to the one they went into with all the safes and all the steel.
Hot.
We learned stunning details about the Delta Force's daring
Hey,
raid to
we know
capture
that guy.
Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro and his wife in their home.
And we got your wife. We got your bitch. Damn, we stole your quite literally.
John McPhee. John, I've been looking forward to this interview all day long because it's really remarkable what your old unit did here. I think not only was it daring, it may have been the riskiest mission since the killing of bin Laden back in 2011. And I'm struck by the flawless execution. Walk us through it.
How'd you get the layout? Intel, baby. Inner circles. Sources.
Well, I'll tell you this, something like this would take months to kind of plan, get organized, but once the
Siri,
guys
not
figure
you.
this
I
out,
said
there's
CIA.
no
I know the
stopping
CIA
them.
is listening, so that
It's
probably
not the
triggers you as
guys
well.
that always-
I'm listening to Shrek talk. Turn off now.
Politicians have issues, so the fact that something like this could come together at all levels just makes me happy for the guys that got to do the mission.
Yeah, you're right. We are learning that the Delta Force guys have been practicing on a mock house of Maduro's compound for months, going back to August, every time doing it again and again, faster and faster. But you're right, the 160th Air Regiment, the Night Stalkers, were the ride that the Delta Force guys got.
You guys don't know what 160th really is? Night helicopter people who transport the highest tip of the spear special operations.
And, you know, the fact, John, that there wasn't a single U.S. casualty is really speaks to the remarkable success of it. But I think the takeaway for the rest of the world, whether you are a dictator that is working hand in hand with a drug cartel or just a cartel, a bad guy anywhere in the world, this message says that we are unmatched and we will be able to get you.
Well, get your ass. We'll get your
and
girl, too.
And we will, right?
Okay, so one thing, too, that people totally sleep on when it comes to Delta Force, and I don't even think it'll ever come to light for maybe like another decade maybe. Delta's intel is something else. The intel component adjacent to Delta, not the CIA, guys, but Delta's internal. It's their own CIA, but now an Army component, a true tip of the spear intel Army component.
America is being able to use a ground force like nobody's used in history, I think. I'd also say that these guys plan for this. They train for this. Basically, they spend their whole adult lives for this one mission to get here. And I think it's just fantastic for all the boys and the guys that pulled this off. I couldn't be prouder of them.
We're not going to be able to react to some of the war footage and stuff like that because YouTube is always on my ass cheeks about that. And I'm not allowed to show war content or whatever. But if you guys want to see it, it's all over the internet. And we're just jumping over some of the theories on some of the stuff.
I can only imagine. And I guess just in the last 10 seconds I've got here, John, tell me, what do you think was the most difficult task of this mission?
I'd say the most difficult task is knocking out all the air defenses and getting the guys in on the ground. Once the guys are on the ground, they can handle themselves. However, you got to get to the fight.
He's like, as long as everybody don't f it up, we'll take care of everything. If you guys don't know, he's an ex-Delta operator, so that's why he's talking about it. All right, let me see. What else did we have here?
Before sunrise on January 3rd,
you can just kind of. So this is the Navy channel.
Maduro was no longer in Venezuela. Within hours, he would be aboard a U.S. amphibious
Bro, we really got
ship,
your ass in an hour, bro. Jack Platts with the 70 channel, man. Welcome to the fucking team. I appreciate you. No body cam stuff today, Chad, unfortunately.
To an operation known as Operation Absolute Resolve. An operation that brought together some of the most advanced aircraft in the U.S. arsenal. Platforms like F-22 Raptors, B-1 bombers, and even stealth reconnaissance assets, such as the RQ-170
how many people are going to talk about this
operating quietly in the background. Because this operation didn't
Delta
start
was only on the ground for 35 minutes. Is that fact? Because when they got in the helicopter, they just boop, 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 boop. That's crazy work. Does Delta wear body cams? Yeah. They're on a different type of shit. I'll show you really quick. Them D-boys would have had Mohawk type shits on their shoulders or helmets, hardlining, and it would be doing a live feed on an So one's like this, where you can hardline it into your shit and hardline it into your kit. So that way it's a controlled feed. So these cables go straight into a radio, and that radio will transmit to an exact location. Bro, you know what we should probably look into right now is the amount of people that are poopy, actually. But apparently this is how the world's reacting to it. And before you guys watch this all, we're live. If you guys want to come watch this live on Twitch, Kick, or Rumble, we stream Monday through Friday. Morning streams and night streams. Just come and hang out. We are reacting to multiple news source outlets, and not all of them make it into the video.
CB, there's been plenty of reaction here in the United States. Democrats, Republicans split on whether or not this was an illegal or legal move. But around the world,
North Korea, what's up, man? North Korea, what's up, man?
Hey, Brian, that's right. Well, this morning, the UN Secretary General released a statement saying he is deeply concerned that internet may not have been respected. As you mentioned, global leaders are watching as all of this unfolds to see what comes next for Venezuela and U.S. foreign policy. In Europe, the European Council president released a statement, Antonio Costa, and he said he was following the developments with, quote, great concern, urging de-escalation and respect of international law.
United Nations, we are not worried about you. Like in the slightest. The UN is going to talk about America's actions for stopping a dictator, but not going to deal with the Ukraine-Russia shit. And it's been years, and we handle some shit in a day? That in 3 hours?
Some Latin American countries are also making similar calls. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum reposted the official statement of her country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which condemned the strikes as a violation of the United Nations.
Bro, do y'all want to hear my thought process on some of this? I think this is a ploy for Mexico next, especially if we're going against like narco terrorists and shit like that. Like Mexico, you're scared of like all that shit. I feel like this was just a test for the U.S. against other countries, bro.
Force. U.S. adversaries are also weighing in. Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs writing in part on X, quote, "The pretext used to justify these actions are untenable. Russia reaffirms its solidarity with the Venezuelan people. Iran and its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei."
Its supreme leader. Okay, continue.
Also has a long history of conflict with the U.S. While he has rattled off a series of posts this morning about the strike, including one which says in part, quote, "What's important is when one realizes an enemy wants to force something on one's government or nation with false claims, they must stand firmly against the enemy."
Who is bro? He has a very nice beard. He got like a Santa vibe to him. I bet he's a good dude.
Freedom advances. Long live freedom. And in the UK, Reform leader and staunch Trump ally Nigel Farage, he questioned the legality of the attack, but said it may lead to a favorable outcome.
But if they make China and Russia think twice, it may be a good thing? We out here, though.
No doubt. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Waltz, just putting on X, this is not regime change. This is justice. Maduro was indicted, illegitimate dictator that led a declared narco-terrorism organization responsible for killing American citizens. All eyes will be on New York City this upcoming week, as well as Caracas, Venezuela. CB Cotton, thank you from the United Nations.
Oh, bro, facts. Russia been fighting Ukraine for almost 4 years. Delta went in and out in under an hour, bro. Give Delta 35 minutes. We're done. I know, killer. Wait, I want to show you guys what China said.
China expresses grave concern over the U.S. forcibly detaining President Maduro and his wife and transferring them out of the country. The U.S. actions clearly violate international law and basic norms of international relations, as well as the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. China calls on the U.S. to ensure the safety of President Maduro and his wife, immediately release them, cease subverting the Venezuelan government, and resolve the issue through dialogue and negotiations.
Shut the f up. Back to back, World War champs. We gonna do whatever we want. How about you deal with some Russia-Ukraine shit?
China is closely monitoring the security situation in Venezuela. At present, there are no reports of Chinese personnel
but y'all didn't help
in
him,
Venezuela being affected.
So you're not really
by
monitoring
US
anything.
strikes. Mr. Chiu Xiaoqi is the Chinese government's special representative for Latin American affairs, and visiting Latin American countries is part of his duties. China has always maintained good...
Dude, just stop it. Should we watch the Venezuela protest? Bro, some of the Venezuela protests, I'm sorry, they just don't make sense to me. Somebody made a really good point. All of these Venezuela protests in the U.S., I'm just seeing a lot of white people and nobody from Venezuela. And all the people from Venezuela seem to be really happy about it. If you don't like Trump, that's fine. If you're on this side or this side of the fence, that's fine. I'm a centrist. Both of y'all get I believe in doing the right thing at the right time for the right cause under the right circumstances. Bro, you can't let the fact that you don't like him make you just choose the other side. That's like 5-year-old shit. What are y'all actually doing? I'm all for peaceful protest, bro. On God. I appreciate y'all peacefully protesting. That is totally fine with me. As long as y'all are not causing riots, fucking destroying shit, speak your mind, queen. But like, what are y'all doing? How are you contributing to anything?
not only in violation of international law, but also in violation of U.S. law. The president does not have the right to take unilateral military action against another country and detain its president.
He's allowed to do strategic strikes, I'm just saying. I'm not against you, Linda. Speak your mind, girl. But the president is allowed to do small-scale strikes if he so chooses. So why are Americans the president's biggest haters? Why are they only mad about the shit the U.S. is doing, but not mad about the shit other countries in the world are doing?
They're there to steal resources. They're there to steal land. It has nothing to do with narco-terrorism or protecting anyone.
My message is that Trump is you are the enemy of working people everywhere. It's all your foreign.
You have a job?
Money picked from our pockets.
You are a working person. That's what you're telling me right now?
Maduro was not a good guy, but it's not about Maduro. It's about the oil. I would have thought even 6 months ago that he would actually literally invade Venezuela and kidnap the president and his wife.
Thank God he did, right?
Very clear that Trump right now is trying to use all of these lies and falseless claims about narco trafficking, about dumping, quote unquote, dumping prisoners into the U.S., right, to stoke fear and to really make an enemy out of Maduro.
We know that this is a war for oil. This is a U.S. imperialist aggression.
I feel like if all of these people, if we paid for their plane tickets, okay? I take all my money. I fly all of these people to Venezuela to protest in the street. I feel like all the people in Venezuela would just throw rocks at them and stone them to death. And be like, shut up. What are you talking about? Womp womp. I don't know if they're protesting for or against him. Cesar Maduro. Okay, these all look like... Bro, am I about to say, like, bad things right now? The cartel guys. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's got cartel-looking vibes, if I'm being honest, because they're all wearing the same thing. They basically have a uniform on right now. These people are happy. Good for them.
Justice is being served for all Venezuelans who left our country to demonstrate
who left the country.
We are fighters, we entrepreneurs, we are good people. But we want to return to our country to rebuild, move forward, and continue being that force that we have always been. Long live Venezuela.
Like, in all seriousness, I want to know the people who are just hating on Trump and saying, give the guy back. What do you have to say about these people who left Venezuela because they're like, oh, it's terrible?
I'm obviously very happy about everything that has happened. This is the start of the end of the dictatorship of Venezuela. I would like to take advantage of this platform to say thank you to President Donald Trump, who has been on top of this the whole time working to help my country, Venezuela, hand in hand with Maria Corina to achieve liberty.
Like, why are people so mad about that, you know? Actually, should we go to the Instagrammy whammy really quick and see what it's got? It's got all the good, all this. YouTube just fucking like blocks everything, bro. Damn. How do we feel about this? Let me know in the chat how you feel about this.
What part of Venezuela you are? What part of Venezuela you are? What part of Venezuela you are? What part of Venezuela you are?
They're like, go back and be oppressed so we can fight for you again.
We want justice, you say how? Release Maduro right now! Release Maduro right now! Haitiano de bicho, hija de puta, perra.
Why are they so mad? I just don't know. You guys said look at Brandon's skit really quick. Okay, let me see. I hope this doesn't get me copyrighted on Brandon's shit. Really quickly. We stole the president of Venezuela. Go follow my boy Brandon.
Gires?
Go follow all the boys. Go follow Donut and Trout. Beautiful.